Alright, folks. It's time to celebrate another Bills playoff win. And here we go. Yeah. We will, yeah. Alright, folks. This time around, Buffalo won, and it wasn't even close. It was because Buffalo was ahead by 14 points, and the other team didn't score a single touchdown. The final score, 17-3. Buffalo beats Baltimore. And Buffalo actually beat Baltimore thanks to their defense. Buffalo's defense was really what saved Buffalo from losing the game, because it was pretty windy. So as a result, there was a lot of incomplete passes. There was a lot of missed field goals by both teams. Yeah. And let me think. I know that it started with the first half and nobody got a single touchdown. Buffalo surprisingly did better on defense this time than they did against the Indianapolis Colts. And there were quite a bit of stops that Buffalo did, even though Baltimore's rushing offense did pretty well. However, once they got even further, that's when Buffalo's defense started to pick up, and there were several mistakes that Baltimore made, and some of which weren't Baltimore's fault, because of course, because of the wind, Justin Tucker missed quite a bit of field goals, and so did Tyler Bass of Buffalo. Now the first score was, of course, a field goal. Tyler Bass was able to get the field goal, was able to get the first field goal, but then the other times that he tried to make a field goal, because of the wind, he wasn't quite accurate. And of course, I think the first possession was because it was Buffalo won the toss, they deferred. Baltimore was able to have a chance for the field goal, and Justin Tucker unfortunately hit the post. He hit the goal post. He actually did that twice in the game. And the only one that he made was the one that was near the end of the half. And that eventually tied the game. It was Tyler Bass's field goal that put Buffalo up 3-0. Nobody scored a touchdown in the first half, and it was all field goals. And then, of course, Justin Tucker, near the end of the second quarter, kicked a field goal that almost missed, but he was able to get it and tied the game 3-3. And that's how it was at halftime. It was 3-3. And then, of course, the second half, everything started to unravel for the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore was able to get closer to the goal line, but unfortunately, now before I get to it, Buffalo, of course, had the first possession in the second half. The first touchdown was finally scored by Buffalo, which was a touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs. And then, of course, that made the game 10-3. Buffalo leading. And then, of course, Baltimore was able to bring it down near to the goal line. And Baltimore was kind of making a mistake. They were taking a lot of time off the clock. Buffalo took like 5 or 6 minutes for their drive. And I think it's because of the wind, there were short passes and whatever now. And then, of course, Baltimore took like 7 or 8 minutes off the clock. And what Lamar Jackson did, and he was sacked a couple of times as well. But this one particular play was the big difference maker in the game, because Lamar Jackson actually threw an interception which led to a touchdown. Yeah, it was a pick six, and it was by Johnson. I have to look. I think it's Taron Johnson that made the interception. Taron Johnson. And he was able to score from the goal line of Buffalo's to... and he actually ran it for a touchdown. That's right, it was a pick six, and it was 101 yards. That made the game 17-3. And unfortunately, there was quite a bit of bad snaps as well. One of them led to Lamar Jackson being, as a result, Lamar Jackson was hit hard thanks to the ground. And thanks to the bad snap, he threw an incomplete pass that was called an intentional grounding. And he ended up hitting the back of his head on one of the you get what I mean. If you've seen what happened, you'll definitely know. It was on the goal. It was on the goal. I can't think of what it's called, but the thing about it is, Lamar Jackson hit hard. He ended up with a concussion, and he wasn't allowed to play for the rest of the game. And that was near the end of the third quarter. And then, of course, Baltimore Ravens brought in their backup quarterback, which played for the rest of the game. But the concussion that happened to Lamar Jackson was the knockout blow. There were chances by Baltimore to score a touchdown, and they were able to at least get closer to try to score a touchdown, but there were a couple times that their drives failed. One drive, of course, they had to go even farther. It was fourth down, and the quarterback, I gotta find. Hold on a minute. The backup quarterback, and I do apologize that I'm trying to find the okay. Tyler Huntley was their backup quarterback, and he overthrew Marquise Brown, which could have been a touchdown, and I think because of the wind, it didn't lead to it. Buffalo, of course, got it back, and Tyler Bass tried to kick the field goal, and that, of course, missed, so that allowed Baltimore to get another chance. They were able to get closer and closer to the goal line, but unfortunately, there were a couple incomplete passes, and one of them was a drop. I think it was kind of a drop. No. Now that I think of it, it went right through the catcher's hands, and it ended up hitting the ground, so it was incomplete. And then, of course, on fourth down, they tried to Tyler Huntley tried to throw for the touchdown, and unfortunately, thanks to Buffalo's defense, it was incomplete. And then, of course, Buffalo tried to run out the clock, and Buffalo was stopped on third down, which led to fourth down, and it was like fourth and like 2 or 1. Buffalo ended up punting the ball, but unfortunately, one of the defenders for Baltimore Ravens collided with the kicker, and as a result, Baltimore got penalized for running into the kicker, which led Buffalo to kneel down and get the win, since Baltimore didn't have any timeouts. That was the final dagger in the game, is when the defender ran into the kicker, and that gave Buffalo a fresh first down. And as a result, Buffalo could kneel down and run out the clock, and that's what they did. So it was 17-3. Lamar Jackson only played for the first 2 quarters and most of the third quarter, and then of course the concussion ended his night and his season. And of course, I will say this: the Madden curse hit Lamar Jackson. He threw an interception, and he was knocked out of the game thanks to the concussion. And of course, he was on the Madden cover. So the Madden curse did hit. But of course, Buffalo, as a result of winning, is going to the AFC Championship Game for the first time since they actually went to a Super Bowl back in 1994. That was the last time Buffalo actually won an AFC Championship Game. It was back in 1994 when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and I do remember that game. It was 30-13, and I did watch that game. I do remember that game. So I do have memories of the AFC Championship Game that Buffalo played back in 1994. So Buffalo is going back to the AFC Championship Game for the first time since 1994. And Buffalo, I think, is undefeated in the AFC Championship Game. I don't think they ever lost. I think they are 4-0 in AFC Championship Game in terms of NFL history. The question is, will they be 4-1, or will they be still perfect and go to the Super Bowl after the AFC Championship Game is over? That, of course, will be the last game. I don't know who the opponent's going to be. It could be Kansas City or it could be Cleveland. I do not know. I will eventually find out after the final divisional playoff game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland Browns are over. And I will find out who is going to play. And of course, what I've been doing on my Video Game Chronicles channel, I've been doing Tecmo Super Bowl game predictions, and those are only for fun. And unfortunately, this particular week, it's 0-2. I know that it had Baltimore winning. Buffalo actually won that game. They had the Packers losing to the Rams. The Packers actually beat the Rams. So the Tecmo Super Bowl predictions that I have done haven't been perfect at all. And I know that last week when I did the predictions, it had Seattle and Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. And that's not going to happen at all. Both teams bit the dust even before the Super Bowl even happened. So for Buffalo, it's going to be between the Kansas City Chiefs or the Cleveland Browns. I will eventually find out. And like I said, if Buffalo wins the Super Bowl, I will pound myself in the face. I'm still doubting that Buffalo will win the Super Bowl or even win the AFC Championship Game. I still have my doubts. But if they do, I will pound myself in the face. Like I said, Like I said in that one video when I was talking about Buffalo, if Buffalo wins the Super Bowl, I will pound myself in the face. I will still say go Buffalo. I have my doubts that they will win either game, but I will eventually find out. I'm still doubting Buffalo, but there is a good chance that Buffalo will win the Super Bowl. But for right now, I'm going to end it right here. And it wasn't a bad game at all, by the way. It did not start off, at least in the first half, but I think it picked up in the second half. I thought it was it was better. But I will say this, it definitely, so far, isn't the best. Well, I could say it's the best game so far, but I'm going to say this. The best game might be the final two games that have yet to be played. So, alright, folks. Buffalo won 17-3. Go Buffalo. And I will probably do I'll probably do one of these videos the next time Buffalo plays. Alright, everybody, peace out. And I'm gonna do, by the way, I do want to point out that I'm only doing this until Buffalo loses a game. Once Buffalo loses a game, that is it. That's why I've been doing these Buffalo videos. So there you go. That's because Buffalo's in the playoffs, and I do not know what's going to happen. That's why I've been doing these Buffalo videos. Once that's over with, I'm going to be going back to my regular videos as it is. I still got regular videos that I want to do. But I will say, go Buffalo. And the next game that I will be doing a video on is the AFC Championship Game. Peace out, everybody. Go Buffalo. And I still have my doubts about you. Hopefully though, you will try harder and you will win these games. I'm still doubting you. I might not. I do not know if you're going to win the AFC Championship game. The reason why I'm doubting Buffalo is because last year, well, I should say, yeah, last year Buffalo lost to the Houston Texans, and I thought they were going to win. I thought Buffalo was going to win, but because they didn't, that's why I have my doubts about Buffalo. But I'm glad that they won these two games. And surprisingly enough, they still have their win streak. They've won 8 straight. And the only other team that I think has had a better streak is the Green Bay Packers, but I'm not sure. Alright, folks, thank you all for watching. And what I'm going to be doing on the Video Game Chronicles, I'm going to be doing my AFC and NFC Championship Game predictions, and I might do other things as well. Alright, folks, peace out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay awesome.